Welcome back to Skilled, Safe, and Trailblazing, where we dive into the topics that will help us develop lab professionals at all educational and career stages who are skilled, safe, and trailblazing. I am Jessica Martin, and I have released this special miniature episode to tell you all about an upcoming event. I will be attending the American Chemical Society's Northeast Regional Discussion 2025, aka ACS Nerd 2025. Ha! Love it! ACS Nerd 2025 will take place on Saturday, November 1st on the Worcester State University campus in Worcester, Massachusetts. Information about the conference and registration can be found at www.acsnerd2025.org. I have also included that link in the show notes in case you are able to attend. Registration opened on October 1st. I am really looking forward to the plenary session lecture on successful medicinal chemistry strategies to accelerate drug discovery given by Dr. Maria Jesus Blanco of Atavistic Bio. For the 2 sessions of talks, I am definitely struggling with where I want to plant myself, but I'm likely leaning toward medicinal chemistry for the first session and green chemistry for the second session. I'll also be there for the inclusion breakfast and the after party. I'll be presenting a poster about this podcast in poster session 2 from 5 to 6:15 p.m. If you are attending, come by and say hi. So what will my poster be about? First, I am letting folks at this conference know who this podcast is for. Scientists, educators, lab members, lab safety professionals, anyone in a role teaching and training the next generation of wet lab workers. For this part of the poster, I thought it would be fun to add some graphical representations of folks. However, I ran into a problem that is all too common out there. My images of scientists aren't wearing all of their proper PPE. And of course, I couldn't just let that go. So I crafted a little activity so that my poster visitors can correct an omission. Next, I have a section in which I describe the anticipated needs of our podcast audience. Real-world tested and verified training solutions, practical tips you can apply in your own laboratory, sources for regulations and best practices for running laboratories, a place to learn, share, and collaborate with your fellow practitioners, and that is moderated by someone who gets why all of this is challenging to do. Hint, hint, that's me. My next panel describes the podcast itself. I explain that what you get here is a podcast with monthly episodes where your fellow practitioners can share stories, strategies, and tools to help you develop future lab professionals who are skilled, safe, and trailblazing. It is also a place to share your wisdom and experience with those who can benefit. And it is coupled with a LinkedIn community page to support engagement among practitioners. Finally, I explained that it launched in September 2025, and I then included loads of QR codes to let folks know where they can follow the podcast, how they can join the LinkedIn community, and where they can sign up with their email address for updates about episodes if they don't want to follow the show or the LinkedIn community. I have included the links to LinkedIn and the sign-up form in the show notes here in case you are interested. The final panel about the podcast lets folks know that I am looking for episode collaborators. In particular, I am seeking guest co-hosts to co-create episodes, panel members to discuss complex topics, and interviewees with innovative approaches or tools to share. I have already had some podcast followers reach out to begin co-creating some episodes, and I am so excited to get these out to you all soon. However, I am always looking for more. If you are interested in helping to co-create episodes about topics upon which you are an expert and/or you are just deeply passionate about, please reach out to me at skilledsafeandtrailblazing@gmail.com. Finally, I included a section to introduce a little bit about myself as a lab training professional with a background in chemical education research, wet chemistry and molecular biology, and community empowerment, and included links to my personal LinkedIn page and my ORCID, which I have also included in the show notes here if you are interested in exploring further. This conference will be my first opportunity to promote the podcast at an event, and I am really excited about it. If you will be there too, come find me in poster session 2 at 5 p.m., or look for my t-shirt with the logo of this podcast on the back anywhere at the conference. I will also have stickers. If you aren't able to attend, I hope you find this miniature episode informative, and please reach out to me if you have ideas for co-creating an episode. Thank you for all you do to develop lab workers who are skilled, safe, and trailblazing.